I'm sorry for the lack of uploads in these past few days. I promise you all that I was about to upload this video or that video or those kind of other stuff. I'm so sorry if I didn't fulfill those promises, mainly because I know I might be lazy and my schedule is kind of rough, and also the fact that there's a lot of other things that I have to deal with. So, very sorry about the news and also the way that my upload schedule has been going these past few days, and also my studies kind of affected the way that I can make videos. So I'll try my best to kind of schedule out on what I'll probably do later on in the future. But yeah, let's start the video. Hot Wheels, Hot Wheels, Hot Wheels. That one company that I never fail to talk shit about. But honestly, I also want to see it in a good light as well. But this is a little bit of a mix of seeing it in a positive light and seeing it as if it had multiple problems and how we could try to fix it. Now I know it sounds like I'm quite cynical of my opinion regarding this company, but I still do have a passion and some heart for this company. Of course, I do love collecting. What else is there to kind of make sense about? So, remember when Hot Wheels used to be a company that creates cool looking California custom cars with the occasional realistic models as a side gig? Nowadays, it's the opposite. Mainly focusing on stock road cars while doing their custom California fantasy models as a side gig. Except they probably might have half-assed it to the point where it just looks fucking terrible. I get it. It's a change of times and it's expected for the people to enjoy the hobby, for the general audience to enjoy and love. However, these so-called collectors kind of changed the game, thinking that real cars should rule instead of giving the imagination for kids to enjoy and dream about, as if they want this car to happen in real life. Although it's still there, it's just rendered to the bright but soulless utopia, colorful utopia, deprived of any creativity whatsoever. Generally, Hot Wheels based their identity on custom cars as it showed back in the 60s, well, late 60s, because that's when Hot Wheels was born, since 1968, where they made the original 16 lineup. You could call them fantasies since these cars weren't made for production, but of course they were made to show as if this is like a concept for the world to enjoy or, something that would happen for the future. And that's what Hot Wheels used to base their identity on. And at the same time, there's also real cars that have been customized to give that sort of Californian feel to it. Since obviously, one, those cars were made at El Segundo. Two, you shrink them to 64 scale. Usually they make their cars with their matching colors, whether it be a darkish tone, metal flake, or their usual Spectre frame colors, as per their tradition. However, looking at it these days, you know how far they've fallen off. Now, if you were to look at the main line, most of the color palettes pattern too much to the idea that kids love fluorescent colors to the point it's more obnoxiously bright and sort of eye-straining to the point where you want to blind yourself with, I don't know, a tool or whatever. And it sort of loses that feel of realism and the vibe it wants to give you. And yes, while the late 80s and early 90s kind of did the same thing, it's done in a way that actually suits with the times itself. And it's not to the point where make your eyes soar. Another thing is that as good as it is that some companies perfect one thing, but sometimes try to experiment some others, but still they kept it to their main idea. Hot Wheels manages to make something ideally for everyone to enjoy, even if the results are mixed. Basically, what I mean by that is they basically pander to the specific certain group of people, but not really to its fans that most of us want the company to listen to the point where it just doesn't know where it wants to go. What I mean about this is that there's a lot of different sub-series of Hot Wheels that they just release here and there. It's all over the place with its experimentation, and it just leads to a lot of paths that they just do not know where it wants to go. Either they want to cater to licensed cars, in which they're mostly doing it right now, for shills to scalp to get that profit, or fantasy cars by catering that bright, vibrant colors towards children. And obviously, not to mention the sheer ridiculousness of milking of these certain models, and now these hobbies are being mass marketed, but are instead suffering the shelf warmer treatment. Now, the only thing that could save Hot Wheels is that they should actually keep a balance rather than just kind of dragging itself into the sort of license casting loophole. Because the thing about Hot Wheels is that they've built their identity on cars that were produced, but to the point where it looks realistic, to the point where you want them in real life. And that's what most collectors, or old collectors, even myself included, wanted. I mean, it's good that we actually are seeing some return of some good fantasy cars such as Punk Rod, the Vansnator, El Segundo Coupe, and many others, but I feel like that's what Hot Wheels need to be doing, or at least kind of revert back to its original identity, rather than just chasing for the money, Because at this stage, you probably could clearly see that they're just too greedy, too blinded by like the money that they have, and they're probably going to continue to do this over and over again to the point where they just run out of ideas. But then at the same time, I feel like it probably wouldn't happen, because the thing about it is that if it's effective in making the shit products, then it'll probably get profit. Doesn't matter what people think or what basically us true fans want. So yeah, that's about it. And yes, once again, I apologize for the lack of uploads in these past few weeks. I'll try my best to kind of think up with a video idea to sort of at least get one video a week or whatever. I'm not so sure at the moment, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.